I saw a snippet of a video this morning where this gentleman was talking about cholesterol and how cholesterol is not bad. And for decades, it was understood by the population that cholesterol was bad. And so people were put on statins and other medication to remove cholesterol from the body. And otherwise, what they were told is they would end up with a heart attack, or that's the gist of it. So when I heard this gentleman say, I don't think cholesterol is bad, I thought cholesterol was bad because that was the understanding, but now it's not bad. And one of the things that really is not only mind-blowing, but it's frustrating, is that people do not take ownership for their own delegation of thinking. What I mean by that is, if that person or people in general were to look at what they're being told, for example, your cholesterol is too high, we need to put you on medication. At what point did that individual go, well, what is cholesterol? Why do I have too much of it? And why is it bad? Because if we were to break it down, and by the way, this mental exercise is extremely fast, and at least it puts you on a path of making a decision quickly while you're in that office, so you can go back and do a little bit more looking around, a little bit more understanding. So allow me to walk you through it. So you're told cholesterol is too high, or whatever the case is, your insulin is too high, you're too difficult to work with. It could be used in every industry, every situation, this particular state of thought. But let's use cholesterol, because that happens to be the video I saw. You're told your cholesterol is too high, you need to be put on a medication. You should be asking, why? What is cholesterol? And why is mine too high? If the person offering you medication cannot or will not address those questions for you, you must decline the solution until you fully understand what you are acquiescing to. Acquiescing to means agreeing to, somewhat silently, going along with, in order to either please that other person offering the medication to you, or secondly, being afraid of asking the questions of what is cholesterol and why do I need it? Why do I have too much of it? So say when you ask that question, what is cholesterol? Let's look at a couple of approaches that come to my mind right now. So the first is, if we look at the religious point of view, cholesterol, among everything else in the body, was created by God, right? From a religious perspective, you are created in the image of God. You, your mind, your brain, your physicality, your body, your processes, everything was created in the image of God. If we were to take that premise, then we're saying that God made a mistake, that sometimes cholesterol goes up in some people, sometimes cholesterol goes down in some people. God made a mistake. There's a glitch in the system, a glitch in the matrix. God missed something, right? So if you look at society, God missed a whole bunch of stuff, right? But we're using cholesterol for this example. So God missed cholesterol. That premise alone is faulty. If you look at religion, because religious people say God can't make a mistake. God is perfect in all ways, omnipresent, all-knowing. God is the bomb and then some. So that premise is wrong. So the doctor saying you have high cholesterol and you need a medication made by men to correct it is faulty as well. Okay? Now you may say, I'm not religious. That logic doesn't make sense to me. Okay? Let's take science, or as I say, science sometimes. If we look at the perspective of science, by the way, initially science was philosophy and the material world worked hand in hand. It was not separated. Philosophy and science were not separated, but today they are. And we know, if we look at history, science has been wrong on a lot of different things a lot of the time. Statistically, not very accurate, but let's say it is. So science worries about the body and the physicality of things, using the scientific method and testing things, using what you can feel and touch, using the six senses, right? Let's use the science mentality. Hey, your cholesterol is too high, something's wrong in your body. Let's give you medication to lower it. Now, if you look at cholesterol studies in the past, and you look at how cholesterol is bad came to be, you'll be quite shocked that it was money and power driven. But most people don't know that. But let's say you don't need to know that. You say, okay, doctor, you're supposed to be the expert in this. You want me to take medication because cholesterol is bad and apparently there's too much of it in that body, right? You must ask the doctor, what is cholesterol? They should be able to explain it to you. And then why is my body producing too much of it? And what is too much? Is there too much? Like, what's the range? And how too much of it do you really have? And if the doctor can't explain that, then to be the best version of yourself, you must bring it back to yourself. If that person you delegated your healthcare to, in this case the doctor, and furthermore science, cannot answer your very basic questions in a logical manner, you must take that onus onto you. And you must understand what cholesterol is. You must understand what it is. Even easier is to look at babies. Are some babies born with high cholesterol, some with low cholesterol, some with average? Have you ever heard discussions of that in the past? Hey doctors, when I was born, did I have cholesterol issues? Or doc, have you ever known of infants having issues with too much cholesterol? Most likely, the doctor's going to say no. So then you must ask yourself, maybe through conversation with the doctor or you yourself, is to say, maybe if all infants don't have cholesterol issues, or the majority of them don't, then statistically it's something I've done as a person. Throughout my environment, throughout my life, throughout the variables that have been added onto me by me or by others, I allowed my body to create too much cholesterol. So the body is trying to correct something. The body is trying to undo something. The body is reacting to something you or your environment are doing. And if the doctor can't answer that, because do you want to fix the root cause or do you want to fix a symptom? Root cause is understanding why something had occurred and fixing it so you don't ever have to deal with it again. That's a precise surgical way of correcting something. I'm not talking about surgery as in to remove something medically. Or the other way is to be okay with not understanding the root cause, not investigating the root cause, because there's a time gain there, right? And you keep your I'm not stupid close to your chest. But just going along with the symptom fixation. And so now you're on medication. But again, because you were, sorry to say, too dumb, too lazy to take a moment to understand those very important initial questions, you need to understand that you're creating a snowball effect. So now you're on the statin, you're on the medication, right? And then you are allowing that to continue, because if you're giving a statin, that itself, if you're not asking the right questions, can snowball into some additional challenges, additional things that can go wrong, because now you're introducing yet another variable into the body. So when you're thinking about any situation, and this is a very specific situation as it relates to health, you want to make sure you do the initial cursory question asking rather than wait for someone else or delegating that to the wrong person. So I hope this was helpful. Realize you have the power really in every which way. You really, really do. And you don't have to be an expert to ask the questions or at least wonder like a child would. That's all you need to improve upon things, however slightly.